And so what do you do from here? Okay, what do you do once you achieve that level of fitness or that goal that you wanted to achieve? And we've seen so many people. This is what frustrates me the most as a longtime coach, 30 years of coaching, is that person that reaches that goal and they quit.
Welcome to the Spartan DEKA Series on Spartan Up with Jarod Cogswell, Director of Sport, and Yancy Culp, Director of Programming.
What's up, Spartans? Welcome to the DEKA Series on the Spartan Up Podcast. I'm your co-host, Jarod Cogswell, along with my brother, Yancy Culp. And today, folks, we have reached the summit of our 5-part series called A Life Fueled by Fitness.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by the Exogen Ultrasound Bone Healing System. If you or a loved one has a broken bone, talk to your doctor about Exogen. Exogen is indicated for the healing of non-union fractures and for accelerating the healing of certain acute fractures with no contraindications. To learn more, visit exogen.com, EXOGEN.com.
And today, we have reached the summit of our 5-part series called A Life Fueled by Fitness. Because, you guys, everything is like climbing a mountain. Life is like climbing a mountain, especially when it comes to fitness. And in the previous 4 episodes, we introduced different ways to acclimatize to that pinnacle of fitness. In phase 1, in episode 1, we talked about finding your purpose to your fitness program. Number 2 was finding your fitness sport, those activities that you enjoy, the ones that get you excited. And number 3, my favorite one was number 3, Yancy, and it was called Find Your Tribe. And last but not least, last week we talked about, hey, not only are you climbing that mountain, every once in a while it's good to look backwards to see how far you've become. And that one was labeled Know Your Scoreboard. So today, you guys, we're all at the summit together. And it's been a great climb. It's been a great journey. In fact, you know what I'm going to do, Yancy Culp? I'm putting on my climbing helmet right now because I want to look at the view with you because we got a long way to go down this mountain too. So anyway, brother, how are you doing today?
Life is good, man. I love how you worked in acclimation because even if you've never been in the world of climbing and you really, truly understand what generating more red blood cells is all about, life in the fitness world on your journey is about acclimating. Okay. And I wanted to kind of dive in and tell a little story about my fitness journey. You know, probably the tallest summit I ever made it to was, you see my death race bib right there. And this is the skull. This is the trophy you get when you finish the death race. It's just a little plastic skull that our boss, Joe DeSena, gives you when you finished. There was so many steps along the way. When you and I were prepping, I was thinking about, you know, that first start line that I walked up to, the first sport I played, my first group exercise class. I remember my first personal training session, first session as a group exercise coach. But really and truly, ultimately, every one of those, every class I've ever gone to, every race I've ever stepped up to, they were all so important on that journey to the top. And as you love to say, when you get to the top, we're not going to stay up there. We're going to enjoy the view for a few minutes. We're going to come down and we're going to dive back into our next journey. So I'm excited in this episode to talk about the importance of keeping things plugged into your life. I just got back from the Spartan race at AT&T Stadium, and I told my wife last night, we were out to dinner, I was like, I'll be honest, I'm slightly depressed because I had my training camp going and I raced, and then I had to come down from that mountain, and it reminded me, I said, babe, I know you won't mind, I've got to get something plugged back in. I literally reached out to our local affiliate gym, Hit Athletic, DEKA affiliate gym, and I said, guys, I'm coming in this week and we're going to earn our DEKA Strong double mark. I got to compete in something because I just feel a little down. So once you get fitness plugged into your life, the importance of keeping it. But this is my ultimate summit. I know you've got one that you want to share Joe DeSena provided me this moment, these 72 hours, and there's been some dark moments in my life. And you know what? I've leaned back in on that time, those 72 hours, and they pulled me through some really dark times. It gave me something. It gave me that reminder that, I can, when life gets tough, mentally and or physically, I remember when you went through that. You made it to the summit. So anyway, brother, I'm really, really looking forward to this episode, brother.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, you kept your competition at the Spartan Stadium race where the Dallas Cowboys play to yourself. And when I saw you up on that podium, man, I just smiled big. It's, and that's what it's all about. Because, we've talked about this. We're in the same tribe together, right? And when whether we're climbing mountains and we have to celebrate fitness. We've talked about celebrating fitness, and you should be proud of your accomplishment from the other day, man. You trained for it, you earned the recognition, but most importantly, it's what when you look in the mirror, be proud of yourself, be proud of that climb. And I think that's something we don't do enough of. We achieve the goal. And again, what we're trying to do here with this 5-part series is to get you off that roller coaster ride of stopping and starting. And it's very easy for you to say right now that this is the easy part. You reached the podium at your race the other day, and then you say, I'm going to take a little time off. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then what happens? You take that time off, you start developing the same behaviors, as maybe from before, and you get off of the climb. You quit climbing. Yeah. And you know what I say? Keep climbing. You got to keep climbing, and no whining.
No whining.
But no whining. But I think we have to figure out ways to keep competing with yourself. And I love I guess the award that you got for completing the Spartan death race. I never got a skull for a medal for anything. And man, when I see that, it's like so Spartan and so Joe.
It's got Joe written all over it.
So, Yancy, you and I have, I don't know how many thousands of conversations we've shared about fitness and some of our own experiences, but that Spartan death race has, come up numerous times, just like I've shared some climbs with you. But, those are those moments that have an impact on your life, and it's a process, right? Just like what we're trying to help people off that roller coaster ride of stopping and starting their fitness routines. That was a challenge for you, even though fitness was a part of your life and an everyday part of your life. The Spartan death race was different. Tell us more about the before, the during, and the after.
Well, I appreciate you asking, brother. And it's in a good way, it's a very emotional conversation every time it comes up. The death race it's one of those terms when your wife first hears it and your mom first hears it, like, what the hell are you doing? But the death race, and they say this, is truly about it's the life race. I started living differently after I finished the death race. Preparation, in beautiful design, they tell you very little about what to expect. Even when the race starts, you don't know what the hell to expect. So training physically, I would say is, and I know this is going to sound crazy, a physical race for 72 hours. Training physically is probably 15-20% of the whole thing. The chin up training, getting yourself prepared for just getting hammered mentally and physically over and over and over again, is the key challenge. And I did a lot of crazy stuff. I set my alarm for 2 a.m. for several weeks. I get up, I draw a cold bath, put some ice in there, and I do a 30-minute, 2 a.m. 30-minute cold bath. Just to put myself in some very miserable situations, doing something mentally I did not want to do. I knew stuff like that would help, just by some friends that I've talked to. Once the race starts, now looking back on it, it was basically 20 or 30 insanely tough challenges, one after another packed in. Some mental only, some physical only, some mental and physical. Some, when you separate and you look at that one challenge by itself, like, that's the hardest thing I've ever done physically, just that one thing. But here's the thing. When we call it the life race, because that's what that truly is, the life race that's life every day. Things are thrown at us. And when you look at a full day, you got a big full day ahead of you. If you let that be compartmentalized as this, oh, there's 25 things coming at me, that can be very stressful. But I'm a better version of myself post-death race. So something as simple as the podcast is coming up. I hit the pause button and say, you know what? I'm excited for the podcast. I'm not thinking for anything past that. And I shouldn't be thinking past that. I'm in this moment right here. I'm a better version of that person because of the death race. I don't think I had that mentality nailed down going into the death race, but I quickly realized if I'm going to finish this life race, I better get that mentality quick. So I gotten through the first 3 or 4 really tough challenges, and I've got some close friends with me that are doing it with me. Hell, Amelia Boone was right there with me most of the time, and other great friends, Patrick Misa, that you know, and is like, holy shit, dude, this is tough right here. And then we would finish that, and then we would start thinking about the next challenge because we knew there were going to be something hard coming up. Now, each one of them were attainable by themselves. So I didn't look at all 25. It was the one. I accomplished that one. I moved on to the next one. That's how life is too, man. That's how your day is. That's how this year's going to be. That's how life is. And I developed a strategy, and I briefly mentioned, but I want to dive into it for 30 more seconds here. I developed what I call, it's the Yancy pause button strategy. And anytime I'm coming up to anything, I don't care if it's a 5-second situation, a 5-minute, or a 5-hour, or a 5-year situation, I'm going to pause and say, listen, be present and in the moment. Maximize this opportunity. There's situations right here waiting for you. And this, no matter how hard this gets, this is a beautiful time to live life to the fullest right here and now. And man, if I got anything out of the death race, that's the magic. That's the most important thing. That it's the old pause button mentality. I met our boss 30, 40 hours into the race. Joe DeSena and I are talking freaking business, and we've been good friends ever since. This skull right here, I'm going to tell you one more thing, folks. I don't care if it's a medal that you get at the 5K, a medal you get from the Spartan race. I don't care if it's a damn blue ribbon. When you get that trophy, you keep it. A lot of people say, I don't need to keep that stuff. You know why you keep this now? I'm a father. And I heard you said something one time, JC. It really resonated with me because it hits home for me as well. This is about my son now. The medals, the bibs, all that now. My son or my daughter walk in here, and they ask me a question like, what was that all about, Dad? And I said, you know what? That was a lot of training. And I had the, to step up to the start line. And I was just fit enough to find the finish line. And that was a lot of training, a lot of commitment and dedication. And I finished that race. And that's, we're training for life. But these trophies, if you don't want them yourself, you may have a son or a daughter one day, and it'll mean a lot to them. To my son, every medal is this big. I'm his hero. Same with my daughter. It makes me cry because they walk into this man cave, and they love every single one of those as much or more than I've ever loved them. So those medals are important because we are truly influencing the next in line, my friends. You and I will be gone one of these days. And our kiddos, your 2 beautiful daughters. That's what it's all about, right?
Well, I've been in that room. It's like the Yancy Culp Hall of Fame. And, I think when you go through something like that, it builds character, it builds integrity. And like you said, you become a better version of yourself. And what it does is it inspires others. It inspires your friends, your family, and those people that are connected to you. And we can't forget that we all have that opportunity to inspire one another. And so when I saw you on that podium, I was really proud of you as one of my best friends on this planet. But I think it's the same thing for somebody that's at this pinnacle of fitness for part 5 here. It's like, hey, you went through all the steps. You found your purpose, you found your sport, you found your tribe, and you're keeping track of your goals. And so what do you do from here? Okay, what do you do once you achieve that level of fitness or that goal that you wanted to achieve? And we've seen so many people. This is what frustrates me the most as a longtime coach, 30 years of coaching, is that person that reaches that goal and they quit.
Yeah.
I can't, I don't know why you quit. Okay. Oh, life got in the way. I don't have enough time in the day. You become just like the other 90%. Okay. We want you to keep climbing. We want you to keep climbing. It's important. Okay. We want you to stay with the tribe. And if you need help, all you need to do is ask. All you need to do is reach out. But what you have to remind yourself is like what you've accomplished, that progress that you've made. Don't waste it. Keep it. Enhance it. Take it to the next level and climb the next mountain. So my point there is that you need to reset your goals. We talk about putting something on the calendar. And you know what? In order to stay focused and stay on track to climbing that next mountain or your next death race, you gotta be intentional. Like you said, hit that pause button, stay intentional, stay present, and focus on your goals for that day. You know, I haven't got my training in for today, but it's on the planner. Okay. Yeah. At 1:00 Mountain Time, I'm getting after it. I want to be a better version of myself today than I was yesterday. Today counts. I want to win on that scoreboard. So
each episode is so important, dude. That you just talked about our episodes. You hit the tribe. You talked about the gamification. When you were talking about that, I immediately thought about my zone and how that's even holding me more accountable because I'm seeing you and Adina and other people in my life. It's every episode was so dang important. You gave the beautiful summary of the episodes, brother.
Well, listen, man, I loved this 5-part series. I think, you know, we've had a lot of great guests on the podcast, and it's been awesome to be inspired by them. But I think our role as coaches, while we were brought on this, you know, on this planet, was, again, we need to educate, we need to motivate, we need to inspire. And just like the you know, I think the best ones out there, we got to keep learning. Okay, we've got to keep climbing. We got to stay game ready, and we got to always be prepared. So that's what I'm hoping most people get out of this 5-part series. And you know, there's so many different things we can continue to do as long as we just put our feet on the floor.
Yeah, I think when you were, man, you pulled me to the edge of my seat when I could feel your passion about how it bothers us when people reach it and then they just let it completely go. And we see them 6 months later and they put the 50 pounds back on. They're not doing anything. I truly believe, and I don't want to be partial to certain episodes, but I know it's your favorite episode also. I believe that people did not, and this goes both ways, and we said this in the episode 3, they did not allow themselves to truly become a part of the tribe. And when you and you said it best in episode 3, that can be one person. If you get that one person in your life that's not afraid to hold you accountable, we talked about this. You don't have to have a certification to be a coach. You don't have to be a certification to be a leader in that tribe. You're wanting somebody to pull you in, okay? And you're like, oh, that guy's always pulling me into this or that, but you love that. You got to be that person as well. So become a beautiful part of that team, folks. Everybody listening, that's the biggest key. And I know I'm speaking for JC right here. That's the missing component right there of why you get on and off the roller coaster, because we are nothing. We are a shell of ourselves in this beautiful game called life without somebody in our life. Amy and Adina, our kids, our gym family, our club family, our studio family. Without our family, I might as well cash it in. I can't do life without you guys. And that's why I stay motivated every single day. We want you to be a little selfish with your time every single day. Take care of this beautiful machine. It allows you to do every single thing you do for this beautiful brief stint we get on this beautiful rock of ours.
I don't know what else to say about that, man. I mean, we've tried to cover our best of each area to help you get off that roller coaster and stay consistent. But I think most importantly is be accountable to yourself and celebrate your wins. Be proud of yourself. You know, if you're feeling down, if your confidence is waning, just get out there and move. You don't have to go climb a mountain. You know, just go find a mountain for that day to climb, you know, and that could be just an analogy for our life, you know. Just keep climbing, keep going no matter what. All it takes is it takes that much effort, okay? When you think you can't do it, all you got to do is try. Just try. At least try and keep going. Surround yourself with the best people that you can. Surround yourself with better people than you. I surround myself with Yancy Culps, the Brad Chisholms, the DEKA affiliates, the DEKA family. Okay, that's my driver every single day. That's what keeps me going, because I'm surrounding myself with people that can perform at a higher level than me. And you know what? It's been a good climb up a DEKA Peak. DEKA Peak's been a good climb, brother. So thank you. Yep.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm gonna end on this. You said something very special in the first episode. I don't know if you remember or not, but you validated that for 15%, this kind of conversation, it's not real. This isn't a tough conversation for 15% of the world, but for about 85%, this is tough, because they are on and off the roller coaster all the time, and we understand that it's challenging for a vast majority of people, and we did this 5-part series specifically for you. There's no two people on the planet that are more passionate about serving each and every one of you in that group where it's tough. It's not to say that it's easy for us, but we know it's harder for you. With this podcast, and if in any other way you can reach either one of us, these two guys right here will do anything we can to serve you in any way that we can, because it is it's a beautiful life we're living. And this right here, it's our mode of transportation, my friends. I love you, brother. I love you big,
too,
man.
Brother. Big fist bump. And it's a nice view up here at the summit, don't you think?
Wait, can we stay a while? Can we hang out for a few minutes? I feel acclimated up here. You got a few more red blood cells than I've got. You're living in the high country. I'm down here in Austin, but we're always acclimating to this beautiful journey, my friend.
That's right, brother.
Much love.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by the Exogen Ultrasound Bone Healing System. If you or a loved one has a broken bone, talk to your doctor about Exogen. Exogen is indicated for the healing of non-union fractures and for accelerating the healing of certain acute fractures with no contraindications. To learn more, visit exogen.com, EXOGEN.com. Thanks for listening to this episode of the DEKA Series on Spartan Up Podcast. Spartan Up is your partner in resilience for mind, body, and spirit. We're here 3 days every week. Tuesdays, you can find Joe DeSena, founder and CEO of Spartan, interviewing biohackers, business leaders, authors, and athletes. Thursdays and Saturdays, catch episodes from our DEKA, Endurance, Trail, Combat, and La Ruta series. Do you know someone who needs a little nudge? Maybe they could use some motivation, tactics to be stronger, healthier, happier, more successful. Tell them about our show. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. We want to know who's watching and who's listening. Thanks. See you next time.